Hello, everyone, and welcome back to an episode of Real Talk with Realtors about real stuff, real things, and
real
hard
stuff.
Real hard stuff. Today's subject of real hard stuff is getting your offer accepted when there's multiple offers on one property. So this has not been a topic for the last 6 months, I would say.
Yeah.
And now that we've entered into the spring market, it's crazy again. I mean, I shouldn't use the word crazy, but we are seeing, I would say consistently 4 offers on most properties that are in our main average price point here in Chico, which is $300 to $450.
Right.
We're even seeing multiple offers on some of those upper priced homes as well. So we want to talk to all the buyers out there and all the agents who are submitting offers, and give our advice and 2 cents on how to get your offer accepted. And today we have Jill Seamus on our team. She is not only an agent, but she's also our mentor on our team, one of the mentors.
For new agents,
For new agents.
Yep.
So super happy to have you here.
Thanks
for joining.
Happy to be here.
Yay. Okay, we'll get into it.
The first thing I would do is call the listing agent and find out what's important to their seller, because it's not always price. I mean, a lot of times it's price, but it also could be, time. They need extra time after closing, or there's certain items that they want to sell with the house and certain items that aren't selling with the house. So just kind of find out what's most important to the seller.
I would say time after closing is a really big one that we see these days, because
Right.
a lot of sellers are selling their home to buy the next home.
Right.
So they need a week or so to move their stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
I've gotten actually recently a lot of offers accepted because I've given the sellers extra time for free, and it kind of puts your offer above someone else's.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I think even if they end up countering all the offers and asking for that, it shows initiative when you already offered it.
Right. Exactly.
Number 2 is when you call the listing agent, or, it's the buyer's agent that's usually going to be calling the listing agent, ask how many offers there are. This is so important. So this is a little bit nuanced, because if it's the beginning, if the house was just listed a day or 2 ago, then there may not be any offers yet.
Right.
And that's a tricky situation, because you might, if there's no other offers yet, you might go in full ask, or you might go in under asking in certain markets, hopefully not in today's market. And then 2 or 3 days go by and now there's 4 or 5 offers. Well, you need to maybe change your price, or you want to know if there's multiple offers or not, period. Yeah. And you want to get info on those offers if you can. Some agents are willing to tell you if it's at or above asking price. They won't typically give the exact price out. Sometimes I have had agents disclose prices if it's like $100,000 over asking, because most buyers won't do that and they know that. But they'll tell you typically if it's at or above asking and what type of financing.
Right. Sometimes they'll tell you even if there's cash, they have an all cash offer, or just knowing how many helps you create the best offer.
Yeah, because if there's one other offer on the property, you might not need to go as high over asking as if there's 4 over, on the property. And if you are competing against a cash offer, then we'll go into some details in a bit about how to compete against other cash offers.
Right. So
now we'll go into that actually.
So what happens if there's a lot of offers on one property? Some of the strategies that we've used, obviously price would be a good place to start. And then also some other things you can do is talk to your lender and see, is it possible for me to release my loan contingency early? Is it possible for me that we don't need an appraisal contingency, that they can waive that? So that's something that you can drop with your initial offer, and that's one less hurdle that we have to get through to close. So releasing those contingencies early or shortening them is another way to go about that. So instead of having a typical 17-day inspection contingency, you might shorten that to 10 days or 5 days even, or none if you don't need it.
Yeah, and if the listing has all the inspections on file, which is rare, but it does happen, then that's a chance to release the inspection contingency or shorten it, like you said, to like 3 to 5 days.
Right.
just depending on how that cookie crumbles. And then if you're competing with cash, releasing your loan and appraisal contingencies is huge because cash doesn't need an appraisal or a loan, right? I mean, obviously. So they don't have those contingencies.
Kind of makes you equal with the cash.
Makes you more equal.
Right.
If you're working with a lender who is able to underwrite you before getting into contract, there's a handful that can, then it's very likely they feel good about you releasing the loan contingency with the offer because they've already verified everything. Obviously releasing the appraisal contingency is a little bit riskier. Basically what happens with that is if you release that appraisal and then the appraisal comes in, or you release the appraisal contingency, the appraisal comes in below what you're in contract for, then if you decide to cancel because of that, you risk your deposit.
Right. Or you're renegotiating about the appraisal.
Yeah. More than likely you're going to renegotiate, which is, there's 3 options. You walk away, lose your deposit, you negotiate with the seller for them to come down in price X amount, and you bring in cash to make up that appraisal gap, or you bring in all of the cash to make up the appraisal gap.
Right.
So we've seen it every which way. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yep.
Okay.
What else?
Number 4, keep following up. And this is for the buyer's agents.
Right.
Keep following up with the listing agent to make sure no more offers come in. Because like we said earlier, day 0, day 1, day 2, there may not be any offers. Day 4, day 5, day 7, they could have however many offers all of a sudden. You're the first offer in, which does show initiative, and that can be a good thing. It's one strategy, but your agent needs to make sure that they're following up to see how many offers end up coming in, because more than likely you're going to need to increase your price if you started at asking.
Right.
That's
Worst thing you
opinion.
can do is submit your offer and then never follow up with the listing agent until you find out that you didn't even get a counter.
Right. And, the buyer's agents who, even though it can come off a little naggy sometimes, the ones that are calling the listing agent over and over again to a degree, at least, shows the initiative. And that agent is working really hard for their clients. They're probably going to be good to work with during escrow, and it's going to show that your clients really, really want this property.
Right.
Number 5.
The last thing I guess I would suggest is that if you do happen to get a counteroffer, that maybe you suggest to your buyer, hey, we've got this counteroffer. What can we do to sweeten the pot even more to try and motivate the sellers to take our offer? And sometimes I'll increase the asking amount, the original asking amount on the contract. I'll try and increase that. Even if it's $1,000, $2,000, it kind of lets the seller know that, hey, my buyers really want this house.
Yeah. So what I always tell my buyers is say we submit at $450, we're $5,000 above asking. The sellers respond to us and either they accept it, maybe they don't counter on price, or maybe they counter us on price at $455. Then what I tell my buyers is say, I see you're $455 and I raise you $2,000. Yeah. It's like, okay, this is great. And then I'm going to show you that I want it so bad. I'm willing to give you a couple $1,000s more for it.
Right.
And that it's only, if you're raising it $2,000, it's not going to affect your loan to a degree that it's really worth it, you to lose the property,
to change your payment.
It's not going to change your payment. And it's just showing the seller, the $2,000 goes a really long way to the seller for how much you want the property, and you're less likely to cancel because they want the most money, but they also want a buyer who's going to close escrow.
Right.
Who's going to see
someone that really
through.
wants it.
Yeah. Which goes along with why we're releasing contingencies, because again, you're less likely to cancel that way. Mm-hmm. So that's what we got for how to get your offer accepted in multiple offer situations.
Some good strategies.
Yes.
Good luck.
Good luck out there. Bye.
Bye.